I'm Rachel Kim.
Good morning. I'm Amanda Starantino. We have a pleasant weekend with the weather.
Yes.
I love starting the morning just saying it's going to be a pleasant day.
Absolutely.
Right, Chloe?
All right, Chloe, thank you. A year ago today, Los Angeles became the epicenter of President Trump's immigration crackdown.
And that brought protests and even violence, and the impact is still being felt. Fear and fury took over downtown LA last June. Massive crowds protesting as ICE agents fanned out across Southern California, starting months of aggressive raids. Smartphones captured the anguish of those left behind as squads of immigration agents detained people off the streets, like a father of 3 U.S. Marines and Tucker May's wife, who had gone in for a green card appointment.
They put her in hand shackles and in leg shackles and around the waist as well, like she's some hardened criminal.
1 year later, immigrant advocates and community leaders say LA is a city changed and that the raids have made people afraid to go to work, to church, or even to school.
CBS LA's Elise Martinez is live at SoFi Stadium, where now concession workers, they're concerned about possible ICE raids during the upcoming World Cup. Good morning, Elise.
Good morning, Rachel. Amanda, those workers have voted overwhelmingly to authorize a strike, which comes just days before the World Cup is set to begin. These workers saying it's not just about higher wages, it's also about feeling safe.
Talks about this has been going on for over a year, but as we get closer to it, I'm going to say the last 3 months has been extremely stressful for everyone.
Yolanda Fierro is one of the workers at SoFi that includes roughly 2,000 cashiers, cooks, bartenders, and dishwashers. Negotiations have stalled between them, stadium food service provider Legends Global, and FIFA. The workers are asking for a living wage and also the right to walk off the job if immigration enforcement enters the stadium and creates a reasonable fear for employee safety.
The main concern, first of all, is the ICE issue being on the grounds. Myself and my coworkers are a little bit scared for coming to work because I do have a lot of employees that are here on working visas from different countries.
Homeland Security has said that agents are focused on security and not checking the immigration status of people attending these events. Now, SoFi is set to host 8 World Cup matches. The union says if an agreement isn't reached, workers will walk off the job, and the 70,000 fans expected to arrive for the June 12th match between the U.S. and Paraguay will be greeted by hundreds of picketers. Now, both sides are set to resume those negotiations on Monday. Hopefully, this gets resolved in the next few days. Live in Inglewood, Elise Martinez, CBS LA.
We hope so too, Elise. Thank you. In Lancaster, firefighters getting control of the Macy fire burning near but away from the Poppy Reserve. Powerful winds fueled the flames and the smoke. As of now, it is 31% contained and has burned 2,000 acres. All evacuation warnings have been lifted.
New developments in the race for California governor. CBS News is now projecting that Javier Becerra will advance to the general election in November. He jumped over Steve Hilton yesterday and moved to first place. And in the race for LA Mayor, Karen Bass is still in the lead, but Councilwoman Nithya Raman is closing the gap on Spencer Pratt for second. Pratt's lead is down to 20,000 votes. CBS LA's Brittany Ehrman reports on the millions of votes still left to count.
New vote totals released show movement in both high-profile races in California. In the race for California governor, former U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra has moved into the lead, edging out Republican Steve Hilton, who is close behind with 26.4%. Billionaire Tom Steyer remains in third place with 21%.
It would take a remarkable change of direction in the way the votes are being counted for Steyer to get into second place.
UCLA political expert Zev Yaroslavsky is keeping a close eye on the political battle. The race for second place in the mayor election in Los Angeles is tightening. Mayor Karen Bass has already locked up a spot in the November runoff with 35% of the vote, but the fight for who faces her continues. Former reality television star Spencer Pratt still holds second place with just over 28% of the vote. City Councilwoman Nithya Raman is in third with nearly 25%.
She has made a huge jump in the last 2 or 3 days. And if that pace continues, she could very well be Karen Bass's opponent in November.
With hundreds of thousands of ballots still outstanding in Los Angeles County, the race remains fluid. As the votes continue to be counted, the process itself is facing scrutiny. On Friday, a U.S. attorney visited the L.A. County Ballot Processing Center facility to observe the process after opening multiple election fraud investigations in the state. The visit comes after President Donald Trump claimed Democrats are rigging elections in California through mail-in voting, though he provided no evidence.
We just don't want cheating in our elections, and you see it happening in California.
Last month, Governor Gavin Newsom sent a letter urging counties to speed up the tabulation process. Election officials say the lengthy count is all about getting it right.
The reality is we have to do this work in accordance with the laws that are on the books and making sure that we don't sacrifice accuracy and transparency in that process.
It's not fraud. It's the counting of every vote that has been cast, as we should do.
Brittany Ehrman, CBS LA.
And you can stay with CBS LA for the latest on election results. You can also find them on cbsla.com. President Trump traveled to the Midwest on Friday to talk agriculture and the economy.
CBS LA's Wendy Gillette reports the president also explained why a deal with Iran has been delayed.
President Trump landed in New Jersey Friday night for a weekend at his golf club after visiting Wisconsin to meet with farmers.
I just did an interview in the most beautiful barn I've ever seen.
That interview with NBC News touched on why Iran has not yet come to terms with the U.S. on a deal to end the war.
They're proud. There are things they never thought they'd be doing that they're going to have to do. They've got no choice.
At the roundtable, the president spoke about the economy and stronger than expected employment figures. The May jobs report shows U.S. employers added 172,000 jobs last month, and the national unemployment rate remains steady at 4.3%.
For the third month in a row, the jobs numbers, I guess you saw them this morning, they just got released and they smashed all expectations.
But some in the state's farm country are not enthused about President Trump and the economy, facing tariffs and rising fuel and fertilizer costs because of the Iran war.
I'm not real happy with him. I can use the buzzword affordability. Everybody's talking about affordability. I don't see it. I don't see him doing anything about it.
This was President Trump's first visit to Wisconsin in his second term. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
A federal judge puts new federal food assistance requirements on hold. The judge sided with 20 Democratic states fighting restrictions related to gender ideology, immigration, and fair athletic opportunities for women and girls. Now, states argue the roadblocks are unconstitutional and unlawful, while lawyers for the government say these requirements make sure recipients comply with federal law. Those restrictions were part of the president's massive spending bill that passed last year.
Navigating higher education as a non-traditional student is quite a challenge, especially if you've spent nearly 20 years behind bars.
CBS LA's Rena Nakano introduces us to one graduate from Cal State Fullerton who is beating the impossible odds thanks to Project Rebound.
Congratulations, class of 2026, and thank you.
Young Deshaun Sirajan Munir Hunter never imagined he'd be wearing a cap and gown.
Me being young and dumb at the time, my life took another turn.
The 43-year-old is the sixth of 8 siblings raised in South LA by a loving mother and stepdad. But getting caught up in drugs as a teen meant giving up his dream of becoming an EMT.
I was denied because of my criminal record.
That spiraled into heavy addiction, committing his first bank robbery and 5 years in federal prison. but he didn't learn his lesson. A year after his release, he committed the same crime.
I stole things to support my drug habit.
Back in prison, he says he saw young convicts with sentences longer than their ages. That inspired him to want to create Camp Reese, a year-long boot camp-style alternative to juvenile incarceration, led by people like him with lived experience.
I remember asking the COs for paper and envelopes and draw out how I wanted my organization to look.
With this as his new goal, he earned 2 associate's degrees behind bars.
I realized that an education is probably going to be the best bet.
When he was finally released in October 2023, life wasn't the same. He lost his mother, Katie, a year prior.
I felt like I had let her down.
Though he was accepted into Cal State Fullerton, he was homeless, sleeping in his brother's car, until a room opened up at the school's Project Rebound men's home.
Is a support system for formerly incarcerated people once they come home to help navigate higher education.
Stephen Green has helped dozens of former inmates adjust to student life.
I told them, don't cap your upside. Like, there's nothing that's off the table. Go get it. And that's what he did.
Since living here, Sirajan Munir Hunter has helped design and build the Oasis deck, studied hard to make the Dean's List, mentored young people in the inner cities, and even became the commencement speaker, where he announced his next step.
I've also been accepted to grad school at Columbia University.
After 19 years in prison, Sirajan Munir Hunter is headed to an Ivy League school. He hopes to launch his nonprofit soon and finally make his mother proud. Even if he was given a chance to erase all of the mistakes he's made, he tells me he wouldn't.
I went through everything for a reason. I'm not proud of going to prison or anything like that, but I'm not ashamed of it because it has taught me a lot. It's brought out the good in me.
Bring it in.
In Fullerton, I'm Rena Nakano, CBS LA.
Oh, what an inspirational story. All right, there is much more news on the way.
Starting this weekend, we're making some changes to our morning show to bring you even more local coverage. So here's a look at the changes. Going forward, CBS LA will now air live on Kcal Channel 9 from 6 to 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. Meanwhile, CBS LA on Channel 2 will now air 8 to 9 a.m., shifting up from 6 to 7.
All right, 6:11 coming up. Are you sneezing more these days? Feeling more congested than usual?